just wanted to check out a few magazines here. Got a huge collection and remember going through these all the time. And, you know, since the Instagram and the Facebook came out, don't do that quite as much, but these magazines made a big impact on me. And to this day, I still reference them and go through them. And Animal Magazine was one of the best for sure. Look how thick that thing is. It's full of content. I like to show the inside ad always because it kind of like, you know, it shows that that magazine had advertising. People were paying to be a part of it. Animal was one of my favorite magazines from the early 2000s, early 2010s. Beautiful book, packed with information, start to back. And I couldn't wait to get my hands on them. And best part is that they were free. As far as I remember, they had about 8 magazines total. As far as I know, I have all 8. I have thousands of magazines between my wife and I, so I don't know for sure, but we have many. I know that. I cherish Animal. The first artist that I found that I thought was really great was Ginna Triplett, although I think her name might be Ginna Triplett. I thought this work was really cool and really interesting, and this was the kind of work that Animal would highlight. I didn't know where else to find it at the time because social media wasn't as prevalent, and this is what you did. I'm flipping through this. It was a very heavy magazine. You could beat somebody up with this book. I swear, it was heavy. The book was just filled with cool work. CK Wild was another artist that they featured here. Beautiful. Just lots of cool stuff. You know, great info, front to back. Beautiful Decay is another one that came out often. It was a mixed media magazine. Always lots of cool work in this one. But you know, this was how art spread. This is how the word of art got out, and it was real important to artists and creatives of all types. And social media kind of like changed that up a bit. Scott Anderson is still creating really cool work to this day, and his website's full of really interesting stuff. Yeah, it's real beautiful illustrations. I don't want to talk nonstop, just kind of let some of the art shine here, you know, because that's what it's about, you know, holding on to the magazine, just cherishing it rather than hear some clown like me talk nonstop. But look, I found something that looks like my logo, some design, looks exactly like my Josh Mahoney photography logo. I thought that was kind of cool. Probably shared that as reference with my friend Brian, who helped me design it. Shout out Brian Jose. Tokion magazine was a real good one. Music, art, culture mag, you know, kind of mixed media. We have Aurel Schmidt on the cover. I always really liked her work, as you'll see later on here. But this magazine was always well designed. Cool art all the way through. My wife and I happen to be a big fan of Aurel Schmidt's work. As you can see here, we happen to have some on display, kind of prominently in our house. So talk about it, be about it, if you know what I mean. But she's Canadian and does a lot of interesting drawings and illustrations. I highly recommend checking out her work. Tokion had all kinds of interesting editorial, and I love this. It's a very sign of the times style editorial, mixed media, very colorful, not like today's sterile, bland fashion. Well, I'll save that's a conversation for another day, I suppose. But I love this type of editorial, mixed media, fashion editorial. Some of my favorites, so I let it shine here. I don't know if the Vander Banhart's still putting out music, but I really like these portraits, so I decided to include them. Bounce magazine, another one of my favorite little books that came out, put out by Bobito Garcia. Street basketball focused magazine, real cool book from start to finish. As far as I know, Bobito was the art director. He published and put it out himself. There was other people who contributed, but Bobito was the main guy. I mean, books like these just don't exist anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's all social media focused, and that's fine. I'm not here to just shit all over social media nonstop. But I mean, look at these pictures. Look how real it is. The richness and the feel of these books, like you really had to be intentional when you got a hold of Bounce magazine. You really had to sit down. This wasn't a freebie as far as you got to pay for it. And a lot of the stuff that they talk about is still relevant to this day. You know, it's still media worth investigating, worth checking out. The portraits live on, the media lives on, and that's the point of print media. You know, that's the point of producing this media in the first place. Re-Up magazine, we've got Chromeo here on the cover. I'm not sure if they still produce music or putting out work, but I thought it was a good looking magazine. It's well produced. Having ads from Toyota in the front here is always a good sign. Lots of look at that NBA 2K8. I mean, it's crazy stuff. Karmaloo, used to order codes from those guys all the time. Big fan of Karmaloo back in the day, but I really like the pictures of Elizabeth Weinberg, who is an absolutely amazing artist. I highly recommend checking her work out. I love these portraits. Her work inspires me to this day, and these types of portraits always kind of like stood out to me. So I thought I would give her some shine. She was absolutely phenomenal, creative, and I highly recommend checking out Elizabeth Weinberg.